Caryn destroyed. Amy Roloff wins $250,000 in massive fraud lawsuit. Little people, big world. This story did not explode overnight. It built slowly. Quiet tension. Private resentment. Years of cameras rolling while something far darker brewed behind the scenes. For more than 2 decades, Little People Big World sold audiences a story about family, resilience, and legacy. But behind the farm gates, that legacy was cracking. And today, everything changed. Because according to recent reports and court-related claims circulating across entertainment media, Amy Roloff has walked away from a legal battle with a stunning $250,000 victory tied to alleged financial misrepresentation. And if these claims hold, the fallout for Matt Roloff and Caryn Chandler may be permanent. This is not just about money. This is about trust, power, and the moment a long-silenced voice finally pushed back. This is the story of how Amy Roloff stopped playing nice, and why the empire Matt built may never recover. Let us rewind. When Little People Big World first aired, viewers met a struggling but hopeful family. A farm. 4 kids. A marriage tested by pressure but held together for the sake of something bigger. Amy was the emotional center. She was stability. The quiet glue holding everything together. Matt was the visionary. Ambitious. Driven. Always chasing the next expansion. For years, that dynamic worked on camera. But off camera, cracks were forming. Multiple interviews over the years suggest that financial decisions on the farm were rarely equal. Amy has openly stated that she often felt excluded from major choices involving property, investments, and long-term planning. At the time, fans brushed it off as marital tension. But those comments now feel chilling in hindsight. Because after the divorce, things did not calm down. They escalated. The farm became the battlefield. When Matt began pushing to sell large portions of Roloff Farms, Amy resisted. She believed the property was more than land. It was her children's future. Her legacy too. What followed was a breakdown in trust that insiders say never healed. And then came Caryn Chandler. Once an employee, then a confidant, then something far more controversial. Amy has repeatedly stated that she felt blindsided by the relationship timeline. That important truths were withheld. That decisions were made behind her back. Again, at the time, these were treated as emotional grievances. Until lawyers got involved. According to reports now circulating online, Amy filed legal action tied to alleged financial misrepresentation involving shared assets and disclosures related to the farm. The core of the claim was simple but explosive. That Amy was not provided full transparency during key financial decisions. That certain valuations and agreements did not reflect what she was entitled to. And that she relied on information she later discovered was incomplete. Matt has not publicly admitted wrongdoing. Caryn has denied any improper involvement. But here is where things turn. Sources familiar with the case claim the dispute was resolved through a substantial settlement. $250,000. Not a symbolic amount. Not a token. A number that suggests leverage. A number that suggests risk. A number that suggests someone wanted this to end quietly. For Amy, this was not about revenge. It was about validation. For years, she was portrayed as emotional, difficult, resistant to change. But court-related outcomes do not care about personality. They care about documents, timelines, disclosure. And if Amy secured that settlement, it means her claims carried weight. This is where Matt and Caryn's image begins to unravel. Because public trust is fragile. And once viewers start questioning financial honesty, every past decision comes back under scrutiny. Fans are now rewatching old episodes differently. Moments that once seemed harmless now feel loaded. Why was Amy excluded from certain meetings? Why were timelines unclear? Why did ownership discussions feel rushed? Even Caryn's role has come under renewed focus. Not because of emotion, but because of proximity. When someone transitions from employee to partner, lines blur. And in legal disputes, blurred lines are dangerous. Especially when money is involved. What makes this story even more compelling is Amy's transformation. Early seasons showed a woman trying to keep peace. Later seasons showed fatigue. And now, we see something else entirely. Resolve. In recent interviews, Amy appears calmer, stronger, more assured. She does not over-explain anymore. She does not defend herself. That is the posture of someone who already knows the truth was acknowledged somewhere that mattered. Matt, meanwhile, faces a different reality. His public persona has always been control, confidence, vision. But control only works when people believe you. And belief erodes fast when legal disputes surface. Even if no criminal wrongdoing is proven, reputation damage does not wait for verdicts. The court of public opinion is already in session. As for Caryn, her silence speaks volumes. She has avoided detailed commentary, limited interviews, careful language. Because in situations like this, every word becomes evidence. So what happens next? Legally, the case may be closed. But culturally, the damage is ongoing. Little People Big World was built on authenticity. And authenticity does not survive unanswered questions. Will TLC address this? Will future seasons acknowledge the dispute? Will Matt attempt to reclaim narrative control? Or will Amy's quiet win mark the end of an era? Because here is the truth. Money exposes character. And when settlements happen behind closed doors, it is rarely because nothing happened. It is because too much did. Amy Roloff spent years being underestimated. As a wife. As a business partner. As a voice. And now, whether through a courtroom or negotiation table, she has rewritten that story. Not with anger, but with outcome. Matt and Caryn may continue forward. But the image they once carefully curated is fractured. And fractures do not disappear. They spread. This was never just a divorce story. It was never just reality television. It was a power struggle. And in this chapter, Amy did not lose. She prevailed. Quietly. Decisively. And on her own terms. And that may be the most powerful ending of all.